Welcome back to Teach Me Homemade. Today we are working on one of my favorite festival and fair foods, also a mall favorite, Buttery Soft Pretzels. You don't have to visit a fair or festival or a mall to get one of these delicious snacks when you can make these right at home. So grab a seat, take out your paper and pencil, and let's see what ingredients we are going to need for these. We're going to need active dry yeast. Now I bet I had to go to 8 different stores looking for this, and I couldn't find any anywhere. So I had to borrow some. It's hard to find some things right now. Also, we're going to need some white flour or all-purpose flour, some bread flour, water, brown sugar, salt, baking soda, unsalted butter, coarse salt for toppings. Now, if you like your pretzel with cinnamon and sugar, have that ready. Let's get into this recipe. Now, to my large bowl, I'm adding 1.5 cups of warm water. Now, I'm going to dissolve 2 packages of yeast over top of that. Now you want to make sure your water is not hot because we don't want to damage our yeast. Now I'm going to stir this up a little bit, let it dissolve, and I'm going to set this aside. Now I'm going to use some light brown sugar. I'm using 3 tablespoons and I'm going to add it into my bowl with my yeast. I'm adding that in and I'm going to give that a really good stir to mix it all up. Once I have that mixed up well, I'm going to add in my salt, 1 teaspoon. I'm now adding in 1 cup of bread flour. I'm going to stir that up. Now to that, I'm adding 3 cups of all-purpose flour. And we're going to give that a good mix. Now we want this dough to be smooth and elastic, and once we've got it all incorporated, we're going to pour it out onto a lightly floured surface and we're going to knead it for about 5 minutes. I'm lightly sprinkling flour around the surface that I'm going to knead my dough. I can pull in little bits as I need it. I don't want to put too much in it. I'm going to place my dough on top of this. And I'm going to start to knead the dough. Just keep folding it over and then folding it over again for about 5 minutes until it's really smooth and elastic. If you need just a little bit more flour, you can put just a little bit more flour in there. Pull in a little bit as you need it. Just don't use too much. Alright, my dough is getting nice and smooth. Continue folding and pressing it with the heel of your hand until it's nice and smooth, about 5 minutes. It looks like this is about finished. Now after it's like you want it, nice and smooth, we're going to take this and we're going to place it in a bowl and we're going to put some oil in that, just a little bit. I'm going to use a paper towel. I'm going to put a little bit on the paper towel and just swirl it around so that it will not stick when I put it in there. I'm going to cover that with plastic wrap. And I'm going to set that aside and we're going to let that rise for about 45 minutes. Now I try to put this in a very warm area so that it will rise quickly. I've got my dough rising. It's been rising about 30 minutes. Now I've got 15 minutes to go and I'm going to go ahead and get my baking soda water bath ready. This is one of the secrets to these pretzels that makes them so good. So I'm going to use 1/2 cup of baking soda and I'm going to place that in a bowl. Now I'm using a square bowl so that it's big enough so that I can take my pretzel once I have it twisted and put it down in there and just give it like a quick little bath and then take it out and put it on my pan. I'm going to stir this up just a little bit. It doesn't have to all dissolve. That'll be okay if it doesn't. One more thing that I'm prepping is I'm getting several pans. It usually takes about 3. I'm going to spray the bottom of these with some spray Pam butter flavor. That way these will be ready to go when I need them. Now the next thing that I'm prepping before my dough is ready to roll out is 8 tablespoons of unsalted sweet cream butter. I'm also going to add 1/4 teaspoon of granulated sugar to this, and I'm going to melt this in the microwave. That way it'll be ready to brush my pretzels when they come out of the oven. Now you can use a little less sugar if you don't want to use that much, but that will actually give them the little hint of sweetness, just like the mall pretzels that you get. Now these won't be sweet like cinnamon and sugar, but it'll be just that little hint that you need. This is the secret to these pretzels. My dough is ready, and I placed it on my clean board, and I'm going to start in the middle with my roller, and I'm going to roll it out one way and then the next. I want this to be at least 8 inches long. Once I have it rolled out, I want to take my knife and I'm going to cut strips about 1 to 1.5 inch wide and 8 inches long, and then I'm going to start rolling them up. Now, depending on how big you make your pretzels, you can cut these bigger and make them bigger, or you can make them smaller and make more. But I usually make about 7 or 8. Now, once you've cut them, you're going to need another area to roll them. Now, I'm taking a strip and I'm placing it in the center, and I'm rolling out towards the end. It's going to be just like a long rope. You want to roll them to the thickness of your finger. Then you're going to make a U shape. You're going to cross it at the top and twist it, and then attach it to the bottom, and then straighten it out, and you're going to put it aside on the pan. Now once I get the rest of them rolled, then I'm going to give them their little baking soda water bath. Now I'm going to continue this process until I get all of 8 of my pretzels rolled out and ready to dip into the baking soda water bath. So make your U, cross it over, then twist it, then attach it to the bottom, straighten it out, lay it on the pan. Roll it out. You can do this on a nice, clean, long countertop. Make your U. Cross at the top, twist, and then attach at the bottom, and then straighten it out. Right, time to give them their baking soda water bath. So I'm going to put it down in there, slide around for a second, let it drip, and then I'm placing it on the sprayed pan. And I'm going to repeat this process till I go through every pretzel, dip it in, slide it around a little bit, then let it drip, and place it on the pan. Now this is my last one. Now I'm going to straighten them all out. Next, I'm going to lightly sprinkle them with some coarse pretzel salt. Don't want to put too much on there. Just a little bit on each one. I have multiple pans, so I'm going to cook one pan at a time. Now I'm going to set my oven to 425 degrees. Now you're going to have to stand and watch them because you want to make sure that they get a golden brown and that they don't burn on the bottom. Alright, these are going to go in 425 degrees for about 10 minutes according to your oven, so you want to keep an eye on them because ovens vary. I put them on the middle rack, so we'll be back in about 10 minutes. Now once these come out of the oven, we're going to take and brush them with our melted butter. Go all the way around the tops and the sides. Don't skip any little part. That's what makes these so awesome. When it drips down the side, I usually move the pretzel just a little bit so that it'll make sure it gets it on the bottom. And we're going to repeat the process. Work on the next one in the oven, take it out, and then cover it with melted butter. These smell amazing. They're going to be so good. Now, I like mine plain with just melted butter, but now if you want cinnamon and sugar, now would be the time to sprinkle that on the tops and the bottoms of these. Here is our finished, delicious, festival and fair, soft, buttery pretzel. You don't have to go to a festival or a mall or a fair to get one of these when you can make these without leaving the house. Make them homemade. Some people like to eat these with cheese sauce or mustard. I like to eat them just like they are. All that buttery goodness tastes delicious. You can also sprinkle them with cinnamon and sugar if you like a sweet pretzel, or dip them in caramel sauce, however you like them. Either way, they are absolutely delicious. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. It sure was fun making it. It sure was fun eating it too. If you try this recipe, let me know in the comment section below. If you like this recipe, let us know. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more delicious comfort foods coming your way. I have one more coming up in the series of festival and fair foods, so stay tuned for that. Check out the other recipes on my channel. I have lots of other comfort foods that I'm sure you will love. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. That way you will be the first to know when I have a new recipe for you to try. Stay tuned for more delicious homemade recipes. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.